Praise be to Jesus. Hello, everyone. Charles here with you. These are your Catholic News Briefs for Tuesday evening, October 9th, 2018. A Catholic bishop in Kentucky says his diocese has received 66 sexual abuse allegations against 27 priests since 1937, the year the diocese was founded. Bishop William Medley of the Diocese of Owensboro told news outlets in a statement Monday that the diocese has compiled statistics regarding sexual abuse claims against priests and individuals who identified themselves as child sexual abuse victims. The statement says 62 people made the allegations, and 11 of the 27 priests accused were dead at the time of the claim. It says 366 priests have served in the diocese in some capacity. Since 2002, the diocese has spent more than $1 million on background checks and abuse prevention trainings. Medley says the numbers were provided to encourage other victims to come forward and begin healing. In my last update this morning, I was speaking of a book that had just been released, or now I find out that it has just been released. It's not a book from years ago by the Pope. So in this book, Pope Francis makes some statements about Mother Mary. So anyway, this book was just published. So here's another little, some more information about it. Apparently the Pope has said this. Our Lady was, quote, a normal girl, unquote, a girl of today, open to getting married and to having a family. Before the Archangel Gabriel visited her, Pope Francis claims in a new interview book, talking to Father Marco Pozza, 38. Excerpts of the book were published by the oligarch's newspaper, Corriere della Sera. The Archangel's words to Our Lady, "You are full of grace," mean, according to Francis's thin interpretation, gratuitousness and beauty. He explains, the angel does not say to Mary, "You are full of intellect, you are full of virtue, you are a super good woman." This way, Francis makes the Queen of Heaven look like an average pope. Well, I think tradition tells us something very different. From what I read about the tradition of Mary given to, people like Mary of Agreda, and I'm sure from other sources, is that I think she was just 4 or 5 years old when her parents gave her up to go into the synagogue for training. And, there are stories that I read about things that happened there, things that she told Mary of Agreda. But I think, what the Pope is saying here is something very different than what we understand from tradition. So I don't like what he's saying at all. I don't think it reflects... It sort of gives the idea that Mary was just a very normal sort of child, and and I don't think that's anywhere close to the truth. Although I guess this is his opinion, so I guess we'll just leave it at that. This is really this bothers me. When he does something like this. Oh, boy. All right, let's move on. So here's a Facebook post from Christine Niles of Church Militant. I think I mentioned this before, too, but I don't know about this specifically, so I'm going to do this again. What took a week to raise with GoFundMe has taken less than 3 hours on our new fundraising site. We've raised more than $18,000 for Father Kalchuk. Thank you. Our goal is 40,000. Thank you for sending a clear message to the Archdiocese of Chicago, Cardinal Blaise Cupich, and GoFundMe, that their bullying tactics against Father Kalchik won't succeed. Now, this new site, let me go down to it. It's the third link in the description box. It's called fundingmorality.com. And all the people who are trying to raise money through here are our kind of people, So if you're thinking about wanting to support someone in a very moral and worthwhile cause, like I said, it's the third link in the description box. And if you look up at the tabs, if you click on something that says all projects, that'll take you to a page where there are other worthwhile projects. But just quickly, in case, because there's people joining the channel all the time, someone might be listening that has no idea who Father Kalchik is, and he's the one who allowed his parishioners to burn a gay flag that had woven into it the cross of Christ. And Cardinal Cupich wanted to send him away for a psychological evaluation, and Father Kalchik, knowing that he couldn't really do that, he went into hiding. His brother happened to be there when the cardinal sent a couple of people ago, and what really amounted to, from what I can gather, is sort of bully him. And so he might have left with his brother and is somewhere, but he does need financial support. Just like the priest who is living out of his car in Denver, for being a traditional priest in a very modernistic diocese, so I think he might be on that page. If you would click on all projects, because I think that's what he was going to. Well, he was going to use GoFundMe. I don't know if they threw him off of there or not. I haven't heard anything from him lately. Maybe I'll try to look that up and bring that to you next time. Backing a recent statement by a top-ranking Vatican cardinal, the Cardinal Archbishop of Chicago has defended Pope Francis from criticism in the wake of allegations he covered up for a clerical sexual predator. Cardinal Blaise Cupich, plucked from relative obscurity by Pope Francis to oversee one of the most important dioceses in the United States, released a statement yesterday in which he cited Cardinal Mark Ouellette's impassioned response to Archbishop Vigano. In his capacity as prefect, Cardinal Ouellette called to account those attacking the Pope and the Church, Cupich wrote. This clear statement does not come as a surprise to me, for I am convinced that Pope Francis has no hesitation in following a path of accountability, as he remarked during his visit to the United States in 2015, which I guess his statement was in 2015, "We will follow the path of truth wherever it may lead." Yeah, well, I'm going to leave this one alone. All right, we'll move on. A high-profile German cardinal said that he trusts Cardinal Joseph Zen's opinion of China's communist government more than the new Vatican-China deal. Last week, Cardinal Gerhard Mueller told Raymond Arroyo of EWTN's The World Over that while he recognized the Pope's responsibility to bring China's schismatic bishops into full communion with Rome, he was concerned about the cost of the deal. I trust more in Cardinal Zen because he has all the experience with the communists and with their lies and their persecution they have made, Mueller said. Surely the Pope has the office and the task to recall these schismatics to to the full communion of the church. But the question is, what is the price for it? He continued. Can we make a deal, the Holy Church, the body of Christ, with communist atheists? Cardinal Zen had called the recent agreement between the Vatican and the Communist Party of China an incredible betrayal. So far, little is known about the deal. Yeah, and exactly, I mean, how can the Catholic Church, or the real Catholic Church, let me say that, make a deal with communist atheists? I just don't, Of course, whatever's going to transpire here, in the months and maybe even years to come, we're going to know very little about it. And that's one reason I follow the site called bitterwinter.com, which really tells you what's going on in communist China. I mean, I could do a newscast every day just on the stories that come out of China. And it's not only, Christians or Catholics, it's Muslims, Buddhist temples being destroyed, just all kinds of persecution. It's very upsetting. There's a lot of people in China that are, being persecuted, and their homes are being destroyed. I mean, this is really what's going on, or something very close to it. I'm going to start. I keep on saying this, but there's just so much news all the time. But I really wish if you would bookmark this site, bitterwinter.com, and just sort of like keep up with that and pray for our brothers and sisters in China, because they really need it. And I'm just so afraid for, it's like the hatred I do hate communism. I mean, how can you not hate communism? And, when they put themselves above God, and they treat people the way they do, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Well, okay, that's about it for now. So St. Michael's Prayer is always at the end here. So I hope you stay and pray for 1 minute. And we'll talk to you next time. Enjoy your evening or day. And bye for now. Bye.